Good day, folks. Jonathan Milam here with three very fine trumpets. Going to play them really quickly, and while I'm thinking about it, the mouthpiece I'm going to use, hadn't used it for a long time, but really have had good results with it lately. It's a Patrick CR5Z, patterned, I think, rim and part of the cup after an old jet tone piece. Magnificent. I've also got the medium in this same thing, which is quite a bit shallower. We'll probably try and take a whirl on that. First horn we're going to play is the Conn Vintage One. Don't know if you can see it there, but it's just got beautiful script. In fact, this is such a magnificent horn. I'm not the craziest personally about the sterling silver bell. For me, yellow brass is just easier to shape, but just a magnificent horn. It just recessed top caps. Got a great feel to it, and I think a very good sound as well. We'll give it a shot. Okay, and next we've got an Adams A2. Very nice all-around horn. Light yellow brass bell, not light, but light yellow brass bell. Actually, it's a 50 gauge, so the bell itself is fairly solid. Not maybe like a box trad H bell. A little more manageable, I think. One of the things that I do like, it's got the heavy receiver, so I feel that just enables you to move the power of the mouthpiece and your chops right on down into the main part of the horn. All right, same old chorus and the Adams A2. Very nice horn. And while these two horns are the Conn Vintage One, the Adams A2, probably do-it-all horns, we've got one here that's a little bit different. You pick it up and it feels so incredibly light. This is the Adams A5. A little bit larger bell at the flare and probably the bell itself. A friend of mine said that's like a Benge medium large plus on steroids. And I thought that was cute. I don't know how I would have described it any better than that. But feels like it's got a light bell, but it's a 45 gauge where the A2 we just played is a 50. So the 40 they make is definitely thinner than this, but just a very wide open, perhaps a commercial horn, although I think, as always, with the right mouthpiece and technique, you can do so much with it. Great Adams A5 here. Great horns, one and all. And I played fairly good today, so let's keep going till I can really embarrass myself. We'll try and use the CR5ZM, quite a bit shallower mouthpiece, if you can see this. And we'll try and show you what these horns would do if you were going to use them in a lead application or go just a little bit higher than we did. Conn Vintage One. Well, that gives you an E flat at least on the Conn Vintage One. And we'll try that same thing, some glissandos on the Adams A2 with the shallower CR5Z medium by Patrick. And that is the Adams A2. And we'll try that same thing, glissandos, with the Adams A5. Boy, this thing feels so light in the hand after the other two horns. Just one of the lighter horns, especially for a bell that's a good 5 inches and fairly well sized at the throat too. Sorry, I wanted to reach for that high F and grab it. Some great horns here. We've got the Conn Vintage One again, gold-plated, sterling silver bell, the Adams A2 in a pretty silver. And I don't know that I've seen an A5 in silver plate. This is, of course, lacquer. Great horns, one and all. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have a preference for one, thoughts on them, absolutely, please make a comment. As always, thanks so much for watching. The thumbs up is appreciated by YouTube as well as myself. Have a great day. Take care of yourself.